Hi guys, so today I'm going to be filming a video on how I curl my hair, and normally I would use like a hairspray, but since this is just for the video, I'm not going to be putting that in, but just, I'll sort of talk about that as I get to it. But the first thing you're going to want to do is use a heat protectant, and I use the Tresemme Heat Tamer Spray, but there are obviously lots of other brands and products that you can try. So you don't want to, saturate your hair with this, but you do want to get a good amount on, concentrating more on the ends. And then what I'm going to do is just take this large wide tooth comb and go through that, and that will sort of distribute the product evenly throughout my hair, as well as sort of detangle my hair, because you really don't want tangles in your hair when you're curling it. Oh, I forgot to plug in my hair curler. But I'm going to be using this Vidal Sassoon Answers one, and I got this just at Dee Dee's Discounts or something. It was really cheap. It was like $10. But in general, I think this is a good brand. I mean, I don't absolutely love this hair curler, but yeah, I think it's good enough that I keep using it and I don't feel that I need to replace it. It also has a heat setting, and I keep mine sort of around medium, just on the high end of medium. If your hair is really, really fine and thin, like even more so than mine, or if it doesn't take that much to curl, you can obviously, put it on a lower setting. If it takes more heat to curl, if it's coarser, put it on a higher heat setting. But just keep in mind that the more heat you use, the more it will damage your hair, even with a heat protectant. So you want to be careful of that. So what I'm going to do is just section my hair off. And I sort of just split it, like where my part is here, I sort of just go with my fingers and split it here. But then for the two sides, I sort of take this and go from my ear, just sort of up. And I'm just going to use this little clippy thing and just sort of wind this hair here into a little bun and clip it onto my head. So I'm going to take the hair iron, and I'm going to take a small section of hair, about that big, and then I'm going to take this, and for the first, for the layers near my face, I want to have them curling away from my face. So I'm going to take it so that this side is forward, and I'm going to take it so that this side is forward, clamp it on there, and curl, and just sort of drag it down as you curl, so that way all the heat isn't concentrated on your ends. Then I'm just going to leave it in my hair for my hair, it takes a lot of time to heat it, and it still won't hold the curl that long, so I just tend to leave it on for 10 or 15 seconds. And then when it's time to release, you want to sort of unwind it without bringing it down, and then once it's mostly unwound, press the clamp open gently and just pull the hair out, and you'll get this sort of curl. And don't worry if you don't want a curl that's, this perfect and defined, because it will sort of fall out, and, once you're finished, you can sort of go back and run your fingers through it. But I'm just going to leave it like that for now. So let's just take another piece of hair, and you sort of want to alternate. So this one, I did it this way. So for the next curl, I'm going to take it so this thing is facing away from me, and curl it the opposite direction. So I'm just going to sort of skip the next part, finish curling this bottom layer here, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now I've got this section here done, as you can see, and you can see that, the curls that I did at first, this was the first curl that I did, it's sort of falling down, not getting totally limp and lifeless, but if you wanted to spray hairspray on it, I would do it at the end of a section like this. And especially for the lower sections, you don't want a huge amount of volume because you want the ends to be curly, but without poofing everything out up here, because you're still going to have curls in the top layers. So what I'm going to do now is just sort of take this hair and put it to the back, and then I'm going to let this hair down. And since I've put this hair in the back, since that's where the finished hair is going, I'm going to, first of all, just sort of recomb this. But I'm going to start from the back. So I'm going to take a section from back here. And that may have been too much. So I'm just going to, once again, curl that, and it really doesn't matter whether you do it toward your face or away from your face. Sort of try to alternate it and make it so that not all of them are exactly the same. So another thing to sort of keep in mind is that you want it, you want it to look nice, but you also don't want it to be like too organized. So if you wanted to section, another piece off up here, you can do that. But what I tend to do is just sort of take pieces from the underside first. So then I'm going to be taking this piece sort of down here. And I'm just going to finish doing this sort of underlayer, and then I'll come back to do like the very top. Okay, so now as you can see, I've got all except the very top layer done, and I just clipped that up so I could show you all of this. So now I'm just going to put all that hair to the back once again, and then take this hair down. And once again, I'm just going to be starting from the back, working my way forward. But when you get to the top of your head, you kind of want a thin section at the top, because if you have a longer section, it's going to be long coming all the way down here, and that can just sort of make it hard to curl and hard to, get very much body in it. And another thing you can do is, as you can see here, I've sort of left the end of it out. If you just leave an inch or so, that way you're not adding so much heat to the end, and your hair, it'll still obviously have heat being applied to it, but the ends tend to be the most fragile part of your hair. So that just sort of, I don't know, I find it just helps my hair to look less dead when I've been doing something with heat. And I'm going to be curling both of these last sections away from my head, because both of these sections are sort of the layers that frame my face. And if you have bangs or really short layers in the front, you may want to just leave them. Like, if these were bangs, well, they used to be, but if you had bangs here, you could just leave them without curling them, and just sort of, flip the ends off and style them that way. But I am just going to curl the ends of this. And I only like to go part way up on this because I don't want like a huge poof up here. And I don't hold it for as long as the other ones. So this is one side of my hair, and I'm just going to do the other side, and then I'll show you that at the end. But basically this is the general idea of how you do it. Okay, so this is the finished look. You can see, the original curls that we did, they're still there, but they're sort of falling. So like I said before, if you were going to use hairspray, I would use it after doing each section. If you want to do it, you can do it on, every individual curl, but I don't recommend that, because usually that involves spraying it on the hair iron, and that's just sort of, I know a lot of people do it, but I find that it doesn't damage it so much as it just sort of leaves this disgusting buildup on it, and I just don't like that on mine. So I don't do that, but if you want to, obviously go ahead. I just think, especially if you had a nicer one that you wanted to keep nice, I would just spray it on the whole thing after it's finished, and that also makes it less crusty and stuff. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon. Bye.